Welcome into Zions Bank Stadium, the site of the 6A Girls Lacrosse State Championship. Oh, what a matchup we have for you today as the second-seeded Lone Peak Knights prepare to take on the fifth-seeded and defending state champion, Mountain Ridge Sentinels. Thank you for joining us, everyone. My name is Dane Stewart. Pleased to be joined by Kenzie Christiansen. Kenzie, we've got ourselves a whale of a championship game here today.
Yeah, we're starting out already pretty, not so smoothly. The draw didn't go successfully, but I'm excited overall to watch these two battle out. Both talented teams, talented coaches, and I'm excited to see how they're going to go against one another. We saw that both these two teams in the semis just a couple of days ago, and look, Mountain Ridge looked very composed, looked very champion-like. Lone Peak, it was pedal to the metal. Yeah, it was.
Interesting to see these two contrasting styles here in this championship.
Yeah, no, they definitely have two different types of styles of playing overall. I think they have two different tactics and two different types of bonding between their teams. So it's exciting to see how they're going to react against one another since they are kind of different.
Want to let you know the clock you see on your screen, unofficial. We do our best to keep that synchronized with the official game clock here in the stadium. At times you'll see us start it early, stop it late, that sort of a thing. As Mountain Ridge here setting up. The Sentinels, a little push there by Kiara Claren. Claren had a nice semi, a couple of goals for Kiara as she'll peel this back. Emery Clark is back for Mountain Ridge. They've looked like the team that I think most people expected since her return.
Certainly so. Yeah, no, Emery's been a big impact, but a lot of these girls have been able to step up and fill those shoes while she had that time away at the beginning of the season.
And you see there, charge, yeah. Early whistle here. And Mountain Ridge will turn it over. Mountain Ridge wearing the road whites as the lower-seeded team. Lone Peak in the home whites. Sorry, Mountain Ridge wearing the reds. My bad. Is the call there. We'll give it back here to the Sentinels. And we've got a stoppage here, maybe an early delay.
Yep, green card. It looks like a delay of game. As that player was trying to get 4 away. Just wasn't swiftly enough to make that game move a little more fluently.
Should mention the starting goalies today. Both have had fantastic years. Starting between the pipes for Lone Peak will be Ellie Fuller, the senior. Had a really nice game in the semis. And for Mountain Ridge, we've seen Souza, seen Marriott, believe it is Marriott, getting the start today for Mountain Ridge.
Yeah, no, it's been a very intense start already. Watching Mountain Ridge being able to get these turnovers so fast. Lone Peak's had some stellar defense and very clean defense overall. Keeping those sticks off body, protecting from all checks, everything like that. It's been a really, intense, pure game so far.
Lone Peak does have a lot of length, and that can be very disruptive to some of those passing lanes. Is working through, and Fuller, had it initially, but it trickled through. A shot that she would love to have back. It's the Sentinels first on the board.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot as they were able to swing through and get that shot off. The goalie got a piece of that, but as she was trying to gather it, she kind of did what we call like a popcorn catch, or like a little poppy. And I think from what our angle, it kind of went up over her shoulder and just was unfortunate. That's just one she's got to shake off and know that, she saved it. She did the good thing there. And that, she's got to step back in and try and let that one go.
I went to lunch today with a good friend, big lacrosse fan, more so on the boys' side than the girls. We were talking about just that ability to make a clean save, clean reception, right, and be able to possess that to help get back in transition and initiate on the offense. And that's one where, she does 90% of the job on that one.
Yes.
Just trickled through is off of this draw, gathered here by Lone Peak. Playing the white lines today as multi-use facility here. Love Zions Bank. It's a beautiful facility. The lines can be a little tricky though, as this one jarred loose on the turf, scooped up here by the Knights in Neuenschwander. First opportunity here for Lone Peak on the offensive end.
It does look like Mountain Ridge is sticking with their...
Oh, boy. Fortunate there because Corinne Jones was all alone in front of the cage, just missed it.
Yeah, she got that backside of that defender. You know, there is what I was saying is that there is a backer defense playing along with Mountain Ridge once more. And that, you know, getting on that backside of those defenders is exactly what they got to continue doing and hopefully keep getting those lanes and drives.
That was Eliza Agate. Want to thank the Lone Peak staff. Reached out and helped us with pronunciations. Agate, we got that right here for the championship. This one kept here. Potvin with it. What a year for Maddie. Splitting through the bounce shot, ricocheted up high. Looked like that might have gotten a piece there by Marriott.
That's what's so different about playing on different turfs, and something that's unique and that I like that we were here at Zions, is every turf bounces differently. So they've already had a couple of bounce shots here, which could be more successful on different turf, but here they're noticing that it is going super high in a lot of different angles than what maybe they're used to.
And we talked about that. I think we did. I don't know if it was you or Brian. There's been a lot of games this week, but talked about the surface differences between Westminster and Zions and that adjustment as this one turned over and Lone Peak back on it here with McCune. McCune, boy, she was so good initiating on Tuesday. She's on the run here again.
Yeah, she had a very clean ground ball after that great body defense. And that's exactly what you need from the defensive end, is just very clean turnovers.
Siri here will show some patience. Mikkel Cook, she had a big game.
Yes, she did. No, she did amazing.
Yeah, 7 goals for Mikkel. Anderson trying to stay with her. She'll hand off here with Natasha Love. Right in front, Siri just wide. You saw Siri, the arms go up there, frustrated. She couldn't get that on frame.
Yeah, I think once again it was just kind of more of that bouncer shot, and they just got to get those a little bit more under control, because bouncer shots can be very effective because they are, you know, misleading as they go down. You don't know which way they're about to come up depending on the spin.
How about the Mountain Ridge student section showing up today?
They're awesome. Yeah, we walked past them. They're great fans.
Oh, there's a nice look. Mikkel Cook with the goal, tying us up here at 1.
Yeah, we have the perfect angle for that. She had a beautiful split between those defenders. Open lane, great bottom corner. Just overall a great shot so that she was able to get her arms up and free from her body and release that to that goal.
Boy, you talk about championship moments, and how about the senior in the semis and now the championship? What a week.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, you know, this is her set week. She's done very well in her last semis, and now right here she's already starting on fire.
Anderson
a couple minutes in, tied up here, 1 apiece. 3 championship games today. This our first. We've got 4A coming up next. Bear River, probably heavily favored against Mountain Crest. And then, of course, the finale tonight will be a rematch of all rematches. Park City Olympus again,
excited. Huh? I'm so excited.
It's a great championship last year, and we get it again here in 2023. Bouncing around. We thought Jones maybe had a chance at it, but the call here will give it to Mountain Ridge.
Yeah, Tessa's had a lot of action on ball today, and so to see her be able to pick up that ground ball on that foul was no surprise that she's going to drive that down as hard as she could.
Tessa Mortensen was, I think, our player of the game in Mountain Ridge in their semifinal against Farmington.
Yep, great, phenomenal little player.
Back here behind goal, handing off.
Yep, that was shooting space. I believe that's going to hang out to the hanging hash for an 8-meter opportunity, and I believe this is Emery.
It is. Yep, Emery Clark there drawing the call.
She has a wicked shot, so I'm excited to see how she's going to do this.
She had 4 goals. She's got 34 on the year, and she didn't even play most of the season, so pretty incredible player. We're talking about amazing shot coming in here to the middle. Seal there. Finding Mortensen just wide, backed up here.
I like the creativity on that shot. She had full body contact on the on her stick side, but being able to do an inside roll and try and release that ball to the shot. I bet if she tried it again, she'll make it in.
Clark setting this up with Weller. Lone Peak very spread out on that perimeter. Mortensen trying to duck through, just lost it in the air now. Thought Lone Peak maybe had it. This trickling back behind goal. And trying to be kept in. Don't think it could. No, kept here with Mountain Ridge. I keep messing up the clock. Did boys yesterday. You stop at whistles. Anyway, we'll get on it. Here's Emery.
shooting space. That is a trick. As a defender, that is a tricky spot. Anytime, like for myself when I play, anytime anything is in between that 8 and 12, that GLE, you've got to slide over that GLE so you don't get the shooting space. And that's something that they hopefully will pick up on.
Clark, last time she peeled this inside. See if she attacks here. Maybe looks for a teammate coming right across, and it is Emery Clark scoring the goal. 2-1 Mountain Ridge.
Yeah, she came off that hanging hash. She was able to tuck her stick down to her left side for that tuck dodge, getting in the front side of the defender and just creeping over to that goalie circle and making that goal on that goalie's right-hand shoulder.
Noisemakers of any kind, including cowbells, are forbidden.
Boy, not a lot of room there for that placement either. That's a very well-placed shot from Clark.
No, I think she did the best she could with the situation she had. And I think that's one of the smartest things, like, as a coach, I would, myself would have told her to do. Like, hey, protect your stick, get on that tuck inside, and see if you can get a shot off. Or like the first time she did, see if she can get fast enough to get another lane on the further in.
Back here. A couple of procedures here early on. This one clean. Mortensen with it.
Yeah, Mortensen hangs off the circle and rushes in to be able to try and get that that step on Lone Peak, and that's exactly what she did.
Did she do that Tuesday? I don't remember seeing that as much as we've seen it here early.
Yeah, it depends on what team you play. She
Okay.
doesn't typically. It depends on how you match up against the person you're with.
Here's Emery.
Nice defense.
Got sized up there. Good work there by Wright. Clark now straight away. Continue to survey. I love how Mountain Ridge spreads everything out and then tries to utilize cutters through that space.
Yeah, no, it's a very smart tactic.
That one lost. Oh, how about the close by McCune? Her speed on display again. Quick outlet. Lone Peak on the run.
Defense is closing in rather fast.
Potvin to the left. Potvin now in the middle, trying to find one up front. Had Maddox there, but Mountain Ridge able to win it back.
Yeah, it was a great interception by Annalise. Great as a defender to be able to watch that ball and go with the passes. If you wait for the pass to happen, you're already steps behind. If you can travel with the pass, in which she did, you're able to do things like you just saw, those interceptions.
Frankton right now understands the pain of Lone Peak. This Mountain Ridge D, it can really get you kind of out of what you like to do. So fundamentally sound. Is this one trickling through and out? It will head to Lone Peak. Here's Potvin. Maddie had 4 goals in the semifinal as well. Yeah, that push there.
Yeah, that'll happen just outside, right on the 12. So they're going to pull it to the 12. It will be a whistle start with a lane clear. That's why they're trying to get Messina to move over.
Trying to work through there. And
in the sphere. I'm honestly not too surprised with that height difference. That's kind of bound to happen a little bit.
yeah, I would expect we see a couple of those today, right? Gonna take a quick shot and score it. How about the look there, Katrina Maddox?
Yeah, Maddox had a great lane already in there. I believe that was the first inside as she got up, was able to have her arms up and free with a few steps in, and was able to finally get a bouncer shot into the back of the net, hitting that 5-hole and just making that ball whip against that net.
Did you know dairy protein powers your performance?
That's when we talked about those 8 meters are so tempting to try to get as close to the cage as you can. But as that defense slows down, sometimes you lose that opportunity, and yet if you just take and rip it from 8, give the goalie more time. I actually like taking a step or 2 in there before shooting.
Anderson and Jones on the
draw. I know you want to mix it up, but
well, you think it's kind of similar to a pitcher in baseball. Has a, take that step forward, make their momentum go from their back leg to the front leg. You need that step to be able to launch your body, put your whole body into your shots.
Unless, was it Tessa Mortensen had like a full windup in the semifinal? Remember that? It was like the foot was like carried back, and was it?
I know the one I'm thinking of is Eva Thorne did one, but Tessa might have as well.
Maybe it was Eva. We saw 6 teams 2 days ago, and sometimes
they blur.
They get blurred.
They
Yeah,
blur.
yeah.
Especially when they're wearing white.
Lone Peak back on it here after having secured the draw, and we're going to get a start here from the 12 after the call. Had a lane there to the left, but Myers had good positioning. Siri. Cook coming back. Maddox with it here. Pressure being put on there by Messina. Now Anderson closest to defenses. Help coming over here.
Papa had
Faber.
Papa had a huge open lane. I think they're just being patient. You know, they know that like Annalise can intercept, so can the rest of them. So they're waiting for that perfect pass. You know, possession is key in games like this.
Oh, nice recognition right in front, and that hit off the pipe. Tell you, those slides from Mountain Ridge, how about the nimbleness to be able to get around it still?
Yes, no, that she had a great step on that front side of defense, being able to roll to the inside with a protected stick and, you know, let that ball get at least close to the goal.
Yeah, that one still kept here by Mountain Ridge. Looked like they nearly gave it away. Up here with Weller. Now Clark. Hand it off, Emery. Trying to get to the middle there. You see that defense really take it away. Mountain Ridge fans there. Could have been a call. We play on here. Mortensen working through Tessa right in front. She under the crease? No. They call it here.
Yep, that's a slow whistle. It's a yellow flag. She will be getting pulled back, I think, up to the center hash for an 8-meter opportunity.
Straight away here for Tessa Mortensen.
Yep, there's that windup.
Yep. Fire, and that one didn't get out. Was that McCune who got it?
That was like applause to defense. She was fast. She was furious.
The lob in front, trying to set up and score. Aubrey Shaw, that length of Mountain Ridge, finding the back of the net.
I don't think the goal's been called yet. Aubrey Shaw did have an X held up by the lower ref.
Dangerous follow through?
I'm guessing so. Yes, it says. I apologize. I was looking at a different official. Yes, dangerous follow through is what that is. So unfortunately, that is not a goal. I do like that she was able to take that look, follow it through, but it is unfortunate that defender got hit. Hopefully she's all right down there.
So no goal there for Shaw and the Sentinels, and Shaw here going to be off. So man up are the Knights. See if Lone Peak can take advantage. Aceves bringing this ahead and out. Boy, good pressure there by Mountain Ridge to win it back.
I like the early movement. Right as the official signed what way that ball was going, every person on that field was moving in the right direction for the next moves.
There's Chalk. Here about midway through that man down. Anderson working back to X here.
Nice check from behind.
Almost felt like Chalk maybe got caught in between. Am I attacking? Am I pulling this out? And heading this there by Lone Peak.
Yeah, just that little, stutter step, hesitant step.
Yep. Oh, Cook right in front and could not get it to go. How about the work there by Marriott?
I think she just signed a cover. So yeah, that will be with going to the white team, which is Lone Peak over on the dot. We can't really see the dot from where we're at. Messina is just in front of it. But yep, it'll be right over there. Whistle start.
Boy, it looked like Lone Peak had a chance to take the lead there. And did not go. Cook trying to turn back. Looking. Oh, nice work by Cook. You saw Mary get pulled over, left that backside open, and Cook capitalizes.
I mean, y'all can't see what I was doing. That had a big smile on my face, shaking my head like, yes, girl, you had an amazing shot, an amazing drive, taking it up top to the A, rolling back for the question mark, got her arms in the perfect position, and I was just grinning ear to ear waiting for that shot, and it was beautiful.
Almost textbook there. You pull that whole D up, and Lone Peak here going to take a timeout as they've got the lead here, 3-2. Welcome back. 9:36 to go, first half, 3-2. Lone Peak leading Mountain Ridge. Dane Stewart, Kenzie Christiansen with you. Kenzie, I thought this had the potential to be the best game today. I know 5A is going to be good. Olymp's been on a run. I thought this was going to be a really competitive battle. It has been in this first half.
Well, I mean, myself, I was skeptical with Lone Peak. You know, our first game we did with them against Olympus. You know, I knew they're a phenomenal team. I know they have great players. I know they have a great coaching staff. You know, we just saw that game, and I just haven't really seen them play since. So once I saw them on Tuesday, I was like, wow, like, they can play, and they play very well. So once I've seen that, seen both teams play, it's exciting to see they're here today.
Draw win here by Lone Peak. Navigating through traffic. Stood up there by a trio of Sentinels. You know, that's the tough thing. We've got a stoppage here. We needed it. I'm not certain why. That's okay. We saw Lone Peak early, but it was against Olympus, which is like, okay, that's probably not a fair representation, right?
That's true.
And so sometimes it's kind of like you probably don't get a good sample for what a team looks like. And look, tip the cap to Lone Peak because they are 17-2. One of those losses is to Olympus by double digits. Find me someone who didn't lose to Olympus by double digits.
Exactly.
You know, and it's just kind of like, look, this is still a really good Lone Peak team. I love that they've been able to bounce back from that early season disappointment.
No, I definitely have to agree with that. And just seeing the talent that has expanded over just from Tuesday to today, you know, those minor imperfections, they look like they have smoothed them out pretty well.
9 to go here in the half. Here's Potvin. Maddie. Yet to score today. She'll find it. Don't have to doubt about that. 61 goals for Maddie this season. A little bit of a lane there, shut down. Help. Thought about Siri there, but Mount Ridge took it away. Backside. Well, you see those sticks make that so problematic. Even the hesitation allows that rest of that D to get in place.
Yeah, certainly. So, well, just being like on defense, you want to get your sticks high when you can. But, you know, a lot of attackers, not a lot, but the majority, the sticks are high, I go by. And when those sticks are high, the ball goes by as well. So getting that pass to those sticks is difficult, but if you can do it, that means they're not exactly ready.
Diamond continuing on here for Mountain Ridge. A little bit of space there. That one off the bounce, able to tie it up. Credit Amelia Weller with the goal.
That was an impressive shot. She was just stepping like 1 or 2 steps inside that eight, you know, on that running right side, right hand, and able to get around that defense and wrap it around her and get a goal. That was a great drive with a great, you know, length. You know, that was a very lengthy goal.
Yeah. And we saw this in the boys. I don't know if you saw the boys yesterday. There was a game, epic game. But fourth quarter, a team that had only scored 6 goals coming in. Fourth quarter, they dropped 10. Why? Because they started changing the leveling of their shots, right? If you're going to take that shot from far out, you want to get those goalie eyes moving, right?
Exactly, yeah. You got to get them moving. And, you know, the goalie tries to watch the ball as much as possible because that's what, you know, they have to stop. But when they, you know, you throw a shoulder, you dip the stick low or anything like that, you know, the goalie is following it. Her body is tracing your body. Her stick is trying to chase your stick.
Clean draw. Tessa Mortensen. Boy, she's got room in front. Numbers here from Mountain Ridge if they hurry. Peeled in front for Shaw. That one trying to be batted and able to be captured here by Fuller as Lone Peak now to look to clear. Boy, they gave it up. Boy, better hurry back here, Fuller. I don't know if she recognized Mountain Ridge had it. Coming around Emery Clark, and that sails high, backed up here.
you know, Emery just has always had just a distinctive shot. She's able to do like a sidearm, really strong whip through, and I'm excited to finally see one of these, you know, hit or eventually hit back of the net with that.
Well, that was dangerous there for Lone Peak. Clark, you see that little juke. I don't think people understand how hard that is to hold that with girls lacrosse. There's not a pocket in a girls lacrosse like there's in boys, like you're accustomed to seeing, right? Like it's a very shallow pocket. Going low, kept out by Fuller.
Yeah, no, it definitely is just a different technique. When I started lacrosse, I played like once or twice back in like second, third grade, whatever year it was, and with my brother's stick. And when I switched over to girls lacrosse, I was not very good because I tried to get adapted to boys. It's a lot easier, I think, obviously for me now to play with a girl's stick because you know how to play with it. But you just need to spend, no matter what stick you have, whatever brand, whatever kind of head, whatever defense, attack, midfield, whatever. You just got to spend your time with it. And if you don't spend your time with your sticks, you get comfortable with it offhand and offhand like my left hand or on hand like a right hand, you're not going to do as well.
Mountain Ridge getting the start here. Had the stoppage there. The headgear came off. Safety, obviously. Just thrown across. A little bit of room. Claren.
Yep, shooting space. Yep. Lone Peak has gotten this on the other side a couple of times. Now they're switching it over to the other side. It's a goal, perspective goalie, if you didn't know that about girls lacrosse. A lot of things are perspective goalie. So that's left-hand side out to that hanging hash for Mountain Ridge.
This is Claren. Got Tessa Morton's kind of unmarked in the middle there.
Mm-hmm. I see something happening.
I tried to skip across to Clark. Couldn't be handled, just trickling through, captured by Guyman. Weller. Yeah, quick step there, flag up as this one sailing out of play. Clark, ooh, just lost it. She had the lane there.
Yeah, I think there was some stick-to-body contact there. She was able to get that lane back by getting an 8-meter shot on that first inside.
Emery setting up. We're in the area here. Emery Clark from 8. Oh, how about the juke? Emery looked like she was going to take it from 8 and then just peeling underneath that D for the open goal.
I don't know, but it looked like maybe she thought so as well. But when she saw that stick in front of her, she was able to keep that capture, take it over on a little bit of a tuck dodge to the left side, whip it back to her right, and seal it off with a goal. That was a great job. You know, planned or not planned, it was overall a phenomenal way to take that goal.
Yeah, that was good work. We talk about the length of Mountain Ridge defensively. McEwen has that as well, as does Sophia Kono. But I thought Emery was going to size up to take it, and just that last-minute change of decision, well done.
Yeah, well, it's just, I don't know if deceptive is the right word for that, but yeah, I think it's very just well planned and well executed.
Procedure here again. We'll give it to Mountain Ridge. I've seen a couple of those for Lone Peak here early.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they're doing right or wrong, but yeah, no, it keeps getting Mountain Ridge's favor.
Anderson looking ahead. Mortensen sends over Weller with a bounce shot. Boy, that was a riser, fought off by Fuller.
Almost went out of the park.
Shot coming around. Had Clark, but couldn't get it through to her.
You know, over the last couple of years, I've seen more goggles off of girls' heads than I think I've seen in my whole entire life. I don't know if they just wear them looser or if there's just a different type of contact these last few years than in previous years. It's just crazy to me.
Had a couple already today just in this first half. Chalk, 8-meter start.
Yeah, if you're not confident in that shot, pull back.
Claren got the angle. And Kiara Claren with the goal. Largest lead of the game here at 2.
That was a great drive as it came off of that, like GLE, you know, switching her hands back and forth, able to take that shot on that inside of the defender. Great footwork, great stick work, and overall just great teamwork. So it started right back at that 8-meter shot that didn't get released out, but instead pulled it back to work as a team for that, you know, goal there.
You see how important those edges are, right? The moment you lose that edge, the whole defense is now beat. You're one-on-one, and Claren able to finish.
Yeah, no, it definitely is an advantage for the attack for sure with that type of scenario.
So 3 unanswered goals here for the Sentinels.
Very nice job.
Let's see if Lone Peak has a response. Podvin hasn't scored today. She's got a head of steam and momentum. Playing that with Siri. Is back in front here. That wraparound not there. Staying with it, going low. What a goal for Lone Peak. How about Eliza Agate?
I think that's just the definition of patience and, you know, just wrist work overall. That's what we were kind of talking about a second ago with, like, cradling, is having that stick work, being able to, you know, she's dodging left, right, back to her left side, able to finally get that, you know, release down low, as I call it, a golfer shot, to the back of the net, just skimming across those goalies' feet. You know, I keep saying, you know, that's such a nice draw. Like, what I think is a nice draw is being able to, you know, twist your wrist in time and get that right direction to your teammate. That's excellent by the center. And then also on the outside girl, just getting that forward step in front of the other player.
Some rain starting to fall here at Zions Bank Stadium. Another draw win as Podvin able to scoop it up. Boy, you can see that was timed, but we're going to stop the clock here, and boy, a card going to be given here.
But that looks like Mountain Ridge's second one of the game. That is fortunate and unfortunate that they did get that, but fortunate for Lone Peak, so they're able to have that man-up opportunity once more. But it is unfortunate to have those 2 minutes out and be man down.
Lone Peak on the man advantage.
Second time today that Lone Peak will go on the advantage. Weren't able to capitalize on the first.
Well, this shows the strength and, you know, the grittiness of Mountain Ridge's defense. They're able to hold off not just one defender, but that extra open defender.
2-minute man advantage here for the Knights. Here's Nguyen Schwander. Well, you see a lot of movement for Lone Peak here. Maybe a little lane there, fed for Siri. And boy, Tessa Mortensen tried to get that stick up there. Kept here by Jones. Cook. And Mortensen. They're in the sphere of the call. There's Cook down here, getting back up.
Looks like she's all right. As long as, you know, she's all right, she can continue to play.
About 1 minute left here on the advantage for the Knights as Cook trying to shake that shoulder out. She'll need it here for this 8-meter opportunity. Mikkel coming in, looking to shoot and score. Going 5-hole, Mikkel Cook ties it up.
No, she had to shake that off, and she shook it off very fast from that unfortunate fall. But taking back to the first inside, you know, protecting her stick for the most part, driving it in and getting her stick a little bit closer to her body than what most would, and being able to get that 5-hole, like you said. You know, great creativity, great drive, and also, you know, way to keep yourself calm. Like, I feel like that is so much emotion so fast. You know, feeling like, oh no, I just got hurt, to, oh no, I got to shoot. It's just really fast emotions that she was able to, you know, maintain.
Third goal of the game for Mikkel Cook. Another 50 seconds here on the advantage for the Knights. Contact, but it was Lone Peak running into Lone Peak. Mountain Ridge able to gather as Anderson recognized it. Weller. With Clark.
I think that was smart for Clark to look back at the clock, see how much possession they can have.
How about that? Tessa. Nice dodges there that shut off. We're going to call here. It'll be a 12-meter start for Tessa Mortensen.
Yeah, we'll just be clearing that lane.
Timeout taken here first, I believe.
Timeout.
Yeah, timeout Mountain Ridge.
By the Sentinels.
1:10 to go here in the first half. In the 6A semifinal, watching live on KSL Sports. Welcome back. Just a couple seconds left here on the man down situation for Mountain Ridge. They've got it here, tied at 5. And Coach Brusha would love an opportunity to take a halftime lead into the break. 12-meter start here for Mortensen. Lone Peak has done a pretty good job defensively against Mountain Ridge today.
I don't think that was Mortensen. I think that's the other one I get confused with Mortensen.
Mountain Ridge back to equal strength.
And now coming on is Claren. Back to even strength here.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I Mortensen and Claren mixed up.
Me too. I have to look at the rosters about every time.
Yeah.
Mortensen came around, bounce shot and goal. Tessa once again.
And that was a great drive. She was able to split that defense, take the pressure on her right side, keep her stick protected on. Take the pressure on her left side, take the stick on the right side, and go over and get that bounce shot.
Tessa today, it feels like she has won a lot of matchups against this D with her speed.
Yes.
The ability to get around. She's created a lot of opportunities. That's her first goal of the game.
Anderson and Jones.
Man, she's been able to create a lot of space for this Mountain Ridge offense.
She's a very agile athlete. She's able to, I wouldn't say she's short, but she's shorter than some of these girls and able to tuck under and do some tuck dodges and stuff like that to get that advantage on the defense.
This draw won by Lone Peak.
That was a great draw. That's textbooks right there.
Here's Siri. Now Potvin as the Knights can have a chance to try to draw even. 25 seconds to go. Maddie. A quartet of Mountain Ridge defenders there. Now Cook trying to work around. Back to X. Clock down to 10. Being pushed wide. We're going to start here.
So we're going back on the dot. Mortensen will be going just behind her. I think it's clear of the lane.
9 seconds to go.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Cook.
4, 3.
Oh, good slide there. The double team deflected, and that'll do it. Mountain Ridge gets the stop they wanted. They've got the lead, 6-5. The Sentinels lead the Knights. We're at halftime in the 6A state championship. You're watching it live on KSLSports.com. Welcome back. Start of the second half. 6A state championship. Dane Stewart, Kenzie Christiansen with you. Mountain Ridge leading Lone Peak 6-5. A game that really been pretty balanced. Kenzie, Mountain Ridge had a 2-goal lead, but other than that, it's really been back and forth. Teams answering. Had a couple of man-down situations for Mountain Ridge. They've been able to fight those off by and large, and still have the 1-goal lead here as we start the second half. Your thoughts on what we saw in half number 1?
I think, overall it just shows the strength of Mountain Ridge this season, being able to hold man down on the attacking end with Lone Peak endlessly trying to fight for a goal. It just shows such strength.
And another draw here, won by Mountain Ridge. It's been a good battle on both sides. Emery Clark bringing it up. She's got 2 goals for the Sentinels here today. They've had good balance on the offensive end. As shooting space call here.
So for some of those that don't know what shooting space is, kind of think of an ice cream cone from the player with ball all the way to the sides of the crease. If a defender is in that lane, that is shooting space. You're in the space of the shooter, hence it's dangerous.
Clark. Not that jar boost, but a flag up there. We'll do it again.
That looks like the low official had a yellow flag up, meaning the slow whistle. In the sphere was the call, so moves her over into the second inside.
Emery again. Cutting in, working in front, Emery Clark. She's going to score that just about every time.
We saw that once before on the flip side, on the other side of the on the other side of the field. And she did the exact same thing. She winds up like she's going to rip it. Then she's able to tuck it in, protect it from the defense, weave to her right side, and release it right to the left side of that goalie. Very smart. I like to see that she's, doing what works. And that's something you got to take note on. If it works, try again. And if it doesn't work, move on.
Kenzie, we've seen a couple times now where Emery on those 8 meters, she started with that stick high, and she does kind of wait for those sticks to come up, and then she works underneath it. Yes. How do you better defend that, knowing that that's starting to become a trend on those starts for her?
Stop defending with your sticks and defend with your body. Get your body in the right positioning and get ready to open your hips and being able to switch your hips back and forth with the defender versus trying to focus on your stick.
Mountain Ridge will have it. Procedure there again, the call. Again, not the first time either, and so there were a couple of boos here from Lone Peak fans, but there's been something there that the official has seen regularly on some of those draws. As Lone Peak here whipping and bringing it ahead. Siri, nice back check there from Mortensen. Right on that line, and it will be Lone Peak. The other thing that's incredible when you watch Mountain Ridge, it just feels like you're always at a numbers disadvantage, right? There's always like 2 or 3 people around your one player possessing it. And so then you think, well, someone's open. And it's like, but nobody is. And if they are, then within a second, there's 2 or 3 around them. Like, their defensive intensity is just unmatched.
It really is. And it's a part of it is just they do a backer defense and they double and triple team as soon as they possibly can. And, by doing that, you have so many defenders in front of you that the person with ball has a hard time seeing past all those bodies and all those sticks to get a pass off. So if you have a person open, it's hard to see them and get a good pass off.
This is Siri for Lone Peak. The other one in front, and that one saved away. Well, haven't had a ton of saves today from Marriott, but making a nice one there. And Mountain Ridge here will get the start. Back here to Marriott. Trying to work through the middle here with Faber.
That was a good check. We had that double team coming up with the defender behind, able to get that back check. First defender was able to have that body contact. So great double team. A little less traditional way of seeing it set up, but it nonetheless effective.
Thrown, Agate. Turning back around, maybe had a little bit of a lane there, still keeping it here. Oh, Agate, how about the use of the spin move? Eliza able to score for her second of the game.
That wasn't just one roll dodge, it was two. She knew that once I get past this first defender, I have a second to battle. And she was able to do the same thing on both of them, getting that roll dodge in, getting her hips and goal side to the defender's hips, and get that side of the front side of the goalie circle. Great shot, great opportunity for her, and I'm excited to see how these next 21 minutes are going to go.
Yeah, couple goals to get things going here, one on each side.
On the draw.
This time the procedure again.
I think they're mixing up the person on draw, but something just isn't going in their favor.
Thompson working now with Claren. Claren trying to just body down here, and call there will give Claren here the 8-meter opportunity.
Yep, she's going to get that first inside. She's a right-handed player. It does look like she's going to run it in. I think is the smartest choice there. All right.
And pull us back. And a lob right in front, captured. Has to be worked back by Chalk. Tessa.
Okay, a foul happened between the 8 and the 12. It will pull back to the 12 and clearing the lane.
Claren trying to work away from Lone Peak defense that kind of moved and opened things up there. And it's Clark coming away with it here from Mountain Ridge. Lone Peak a missed opportunity to get it clear there.
Something I was seeing there with Lone Peak is not the first time it's happened today. It's that they're fighting their own team. They got a little collision earlier in first half. You know, just got to get a little more talking, saying back to like the kindergarten way of lacrosse. Hey, I got ball, right? Just right there. I think a white jersey stepped on another white jersey stick. And if there's a little bit more communication on who was actually going after that, they could have came up with it, I think.
The call here away from the ball. Mountain Ridge is going to start it here behind goal. Chalk back to Clark.
Was it shooting space? From our angle, it looked like an X. But it does look like it might have been shooting space, taking that second inside.
You see Lone Peak there at Moonschwander. A quick conversation with the official there, clarification. Clark, the wind up, and that pushed wide there by Fuller. Oh, and how about nice work there by Kono to be back and to win it here for Lone Peak. Here.
Oh, there's a ball on the field.
Oh, thanks.
That's just safety.
Big run out there, worked ahead for Siri. That kept in. Boy, right on that line. I don't know how How's she able to hold that in? Yeah, I mean, eventually it was just a matter of time. Didn't have balance there. Cook did everything she could, but how about Mountain Ridge giving it up? Here comes Agate. She's looking for some momentum. Eliza the shot, and that deflected by Anderson. Back on it, Eliza working in front again. Another shot deflected by this Mountain Ridge D. But a call here and a card going to be shown.
Oh, yellow card, check to the head. That will be Mountain Ridge's third of the game. You got to keep it safe out there. You know, seeing those cards, it's not an unfamiliar thing to see in girls lacrosse. It is unfortunate, but we got to keep it as clean as possible, and that's exactly what those officials are doing.
You mentioned it, third time Mountain Ridge going man down here. This will be Agate straight away to start it here for the Knights. 2 goals today. That one Marriott able to fend off. Right in front. We talked about in the first half. Potvin, she's going to find those goals. She gets her first of the game, and it ties us up.
Yeah, I'm speechless. Honestly, that was really good. She was able to get a flag on that, keeping that stick protected, kept that drive going forward, didn't take any steps back, and was able to find that right hip open and take that side for the shot.
Not a man-up goal here for Lone Peak. So finally making Mountain Ridge pay a little bit there for the Cards as well.
Mortensen and Jones on the draw.
Drawing here, this has been a challenge for Lone Peak.
All right, I think I saw that one. Lone Peak is moving their butt after the officials moved. That may be incorrect, but that's what I had saw. So you got to keep in that straight line after the official moves. If you move at all, it is the other team's ball, and I think that's exactly what happened.
Mortensen weaving through. You know, believe it or not, and I know fans sometimes don't want to hear this, usually there's an explanation for these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, officials don't have it out for certain teams. It might not. Again, I know fans sometimes don't always recognize that, but with the number that we've seen today, there is something consistently happening there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's something like I feel like, you know, you're not hearing either of these coaches really yelling or getting upset. I think they're just coaching their team. But I think where a lot of that comes from is they're both officials outside of just being high school coaches. Just for the extra knowledge, I think it's very smart for coaches to take an officials class just to understand the rules a bit more, so that they're not yelling things that are nonsense.
Well, I think it helps you coach your team better too, right?
Yeah, know the rules and, you know, learn from it.
Clark looking back here with Mortensen. Tessa back with Emery.
Okay, that foul happened outside the 12, so they'll just have to get 4 meters away. And it is a self-start since you're outside the 12.
Penalty is over.
Sometimes the whistle is blown. Maybe if the player's not moving, or maybe I am incorrect and it was supposed to be whistle.
Mountain Ridge just killed off that card. Mortensen working in front is the delayed whistle there. And stoppage here. And first card here for Lone Peak going to be given. Neuenschwander, I believe. Gonna check to the head here for Sadie.
So this isn't this exact instance, but sometimes attackers do run into defender's stick and refs won't call it. Fans get upset. But in this case, unfortunately, the defender did hit the attacker.
Coach Lundell there getting the explanation from the official, to your point. Didn't appear to have a whole lot of criticality to the official after that call, as this is Mortensen wound up to start this from 8. Shot. Oh, Fuller took it away. Great read.
That was a really great, like you just said, reading that ball, reading that shot. Overall, well done for that goalie.
Lone Peak man down for the first time today. We'll see how they handle it. They've got it here. That pass deflected by Anderson. Takes a large bounce into that Mountain Ridge defense, and Messina now on it for the Sentinels as they get it right back. Having the extra player. Messina continuing on here. Oh, back check there, but in the sphere there, we call it.
I think that Mountain Ridge sideline cheer section is getting larger and larger. We are just miles away from Mountain Ridge.
Yeah, maybe not even 1 mile. It's awfully close. Claren. Well, look at McCune. Does a really nice job trying to push her out, but an even better job finishing through as the goal scored by Kiara Claren.
Yeah, she was able to keep dodging her way through, able to keep moving that defender closer and closer to goal, enough to give her enough space and enough distance away from goal to be able to get a good shot off.
Please stay off the field. That includes
again, we talked about being man up for the first time today, and how would Mountain Ridge try to leverage that opportunity. They take advantage with the goal.
I feel like these next 14 minutes are going to be quite insane either way.
And there's even a conversation going on sideline here with one of the officials.
Oh, they're talking about the draw, I think.
They totally are. Yeah, Coach Lindell. You could even see the movement of the official talking about those sticks. And it almost looked like, to your point, she was saying just that. They're pulling that back early.
Yeah. Just got to stay sturdy, stay still. One way that could probably fix it is, slide your bottom hand a little bit closer to head.
Lone Peak off the draw. Siri.
We'll see if they take note from Mountain Ridge, how they were able to hold off for that card. We'll see if Lone Peak does the same, or if they're going to try and get a goal with being man down.
Just a 1-goal game. I think I'd do everything I could to just kind of hold it, but with the pressure and intensity Mountain Ridge plays with, that can be a dangerous game too.
Mm-hmm. I think a little bit too much physicality down there. Was able to get a whistle and starting on that dot.
And seconds ticking away here in this second half, as well as on this man-up situation for Mountain Ridge.
I think it was an off-ball hold.
Lone Peak penalty is released. Both teams
and they just killed it off. So Neuenschwander coming back on. Teams back to even strength. Boy, and Siri going to be set up here from 8 straight away. Big call and an opportunity here for Lauren Siri. So you go from having that ball behind goal, man down, to being straight away. One of your seniors, Siri, that's saved.
We're about to get recaptured, though.
Podvin. Oh, and that one, my goodness, we saw it to start the game. Mountain Ridge was the benefactor. This time, it's Marriott who just makes the initial save, moves it off the bounce, and in. We're tied up.
Yeah, no, that came off the 8-meter, Lone Peak was able to capture it before it went out of bounds. Went back forward to that 8 to be able to get a pass off into that goal. I think everybody was getting ready to hustle out for a clear. But just like you were saying, it was unfortunate for the goalie, but luckily for Lone Peak because they needed that extra goal to get matched up.
Please visit UHSAA.org.
Well, that's one where, boy,
Mortensen and Jones on the draw.
We talk about unfortunate way to start the game for Fuller. Mm-hmm. Nearly identical.
Yes. Maybe it's just outside of the field. We'll see in the next game.
Gotta be.
There's always a one side.
I've kept my eye on those sticks these last two, and they have maintained very flat.
Yes.
And notice we haven't had any procedure issues. So. Clark here with it. And back to the middle of that, lost, but the call here, and Emery Clark. It feels like she creates so many 8-meter opportunities, Kenzie. Is there a player who creates more than Emery Clark?
Not that I can think of, but I think I know why. It's because she's a little bit shorter than these girls, but she also hangs her stick to be ready for the shot, and they, as a defender, they're going after that. They want to get that check off, and I think that's what's kind of calling some of these.
Clark running in, shooting high and scoring. Emery Clark netting it once again.
Yeah, Emery was able to take that first inside, tuck her stick under once more, and get to that goal circle and be able to do a little fake and then shoot high. You know, great goal for her, and I would love to see, that new type of goal. We've seen a couple of repetitions of another style. It's good to see, something a little different that time.
Emery had 4 goals in the semis. She's got 4 goals today. Great week for Emery Clark. Still just being slightly outdone by Mikkel Cook for Lone Peak, who had 7 goals on Tuesday, 3 today. Talk about 2 big weeks for a couple of premier players for their respective sides here today. This one secured by Claren. Yeah, you're going to get the trip there.
Those are unfortunate. Those I personally think trips are not normally intentional. Obviously, she was just trying to get ahead, and it would just, feet got crumpled up.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Now, if you're sticking a leg up, that's a different conversation, right? Saved away there by Fuller. Here's Weller. Amelia. Giving it here with Mortensen. Tessa now to Kiara Claren. Clark is right, now defending. And the flag held up there.
Yep, that slow whistle is getting them. I'm going to give Emery the hanging hash. And we've seen this once before on the other side, so we'll see how she takes it.
Inside of 10 to go. That's a tough position to start from.
Mm-hmm.
Good call there. 1-goal game, state championship. Gonna like to have a little bit of patience here. Fed in front and hit the pipe. Good look there for Guyman. There's contact here and the whistle will leave it here with the Knights. And we got a delay here being shown.
A green yellow, that's unfortunate. Who was that by?
Looked like it was Weller.
All right, so the green yellow. So I think what she's saying from the points is, that is 4 meters, the 12 and the 8. That player just didn't happen to get behind that line and got that delay of game. So it is a 2-minute, I can't think of it, 2-minute card for the team and not the player. So that will not go against Aubrey Shaw. It will only go against the team.
Yeah, and they did switch it. So Weller came over initially, but then Shaw came over instead, and now the official's going to come together, and I'm wondering if there's a point of clarification here on who the player was. Not quite certain.
I'll have to read more up on it, but I think from my memory, it could be wrong, but it doesn't matter on a green-yellow.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's situational. I think the conversation that may be happening, and the question I'm also wondering, is they've had 3 yellows. Now they just got a yellow-green. Does that count for a 4th? I do not know. So we'll see once this, 2 minutes is up if we're going to be at even strength or if Lone Peak will be playing man up. I'm not sure, but we'll find out together.
Fish are going to come over. We'll see if there's an explanation. And there's appears to be some. Oh, so not in the box here.
No green, yellow. I think that just got taken back. I think there must have been 2 different perspectives, is my thought.
Was no Mountain Ridge penalty there. It was their first delay of game warning.
Yeah, so they said there was a delay of game, but the clarification was that was their first warning. And so.
Oh, Lone Peak had got the green already.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, and we've still got an official at the table here discussing, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're stopping it here, going to pull this back one more time. Coach Lundell was still trying to listen in and kind of hear what the conversation was.
Yeah. Okay, so I think by just looking at West and her signaling, she did 1 and 1. I think they both have a green card now.
After the game, so we can prepare the trophy presentation and for the next game. So please stay off the field.
Just give a head nod, so I think she's content with the ruling there.
Yeah, I think it's just more about understanding what happened.
Right. And can I tell you, that's such a big deal with officiating.
Yeah.
Explain it, talk to people. We see this in a lot of sports where some officials are better than others, and top-ranked officials are willing to have that conversation, be like, here's what we saw, right? And we've seen that multiple times from this crew today to talk through, here's what's happening, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't think that's a wrong thing to do at all.
I think it's appreciated by staffs and players. Lob sent ahead was intended for Potvin. Maddie trying to get there, and does. Boy, how about Maddie Potvin? Able to track that down. Worked it for Siri right in front. Lauren Siri with the goal. Lone Peak tying it up.
I think that gave me chills. I was impressed by the one-handed ground ball. She was back behind Messina, all the way wrapping around Cage to be able to pass that forward to Siri.
Yeah.
Yep, to Siri, and being able to get that goal. Overall, phenomenal play. Very impressive play for me. Great job, and it definitely has leveled out the playing field. I'm just happy to see Aubrey Shaw back on the field. She was very upset coming off.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy she's back on the field in, a good place. Looks like she's in a good mindset.
And it even appeared like she was a little shocked, because
you
you came over and I thought I could read the official, you're not in the box. And she's like, no, I you could almost see, not that she was arguing she should be, but just that confusion, wait, you mean I'm not? And anyway.
Yeah. Emotions.
Yeah.
It's the name of the game.
Lone Peak. Boy, big goal there. And that's all started by the chase of Potvin. Remember, that pass was long. Looked like Messina could have gotten there.
Well, that's even more impressive. Look, she was so far behind her and sprinted even further forward.
Yep. Off the draw. Mountain Ridge has it. Tessa Mortensen. Oh, Sentinels with numbers. Quick answer. It's Taya Chalk scoring for Mountain Ridge.
That was a beautiful pass in transition down to goal. Able to see your teammates have that communication, have that respect, to be able to pass that forward, who had a defender on her, but just not enough to be able to seal off for that defense in the goal. Be able to get that stick free on the right side and shoot it just behind that goalie.
Boy, in the moment you see that pass and it's 2-on-0, and it's like, oh shoot.
Yeah, snap.
Not good for Lone Peak.
What's going to happen? Yeah.
Taylor with a strong finish there.
Here comes the sun a little bit.
Yeah. A bit of a glean across the field here.
Nice.
Another draw, this time to herself, Mortensen. Emery working under, going high, and that was just a touch over, backed up here.
Yeah, we got 3 behind cage right now. Lone Peak is slowly getting marked up. Don't underestimate, that attacker behind crease. You don't know what she's going to do.
Yeah. Weller. Good slide there. Boy, how does Mortensen come up with that?
I would love to look up. She is shorter, but she does not look it when she takes those one-hand snatches. She has gotten them on the draw. She just got it there.
Penalty number 20, Sophia Kono.
Here, show to Kono.
Check to the head.
Check to the head here, I believe. So Mountain Ridge gonna go man up here again. They scored a goal on the last one.
Yep.
And this will be Mortensen straight away from 8 to start it. Leading by 1. This could be a big opportunity for the Sentinels in their repeat bid.
Smart.
Boy, and Claren looked a bit stunned there.
I think that kind of goes back to the positioning of, did she happen to do that to herself? I'm not saying she did or didn't. What I'm saying is that there's sometimes an attacker cradles a certain way, and sometimes it just happens to not go in her favor.
And the officials were right there.
Exactly.
Right? So it's if they didn't call it, then it's one of those where it appears as though maybe it was just unfortunate timing or placement or whatever it might be. Lone Peak on the offensive side, Potvin, despite the contact, taking it to the circle and scoring. Wave that off.
No goal.
No goal. Lone Peak was offside.
Oh, Lone Peak was offside.
Wait. They must have fixed it in the time that she was talking.
Well, they do have a player off.
Well, there's still 4 back. So what I'm thinking is, close to the restraining line, someone must have popped back in the time that she was catching it. That's so unfortunate.
Wow, that close from being able to tie it.
Just that little bit of team communication. Sometimes they don't hear each other. There's a lot of things going on.
And now Mountain Ridge again had positioning there. Annalise still carrying here for Mountain Ridge. Mortensen. Back with Claren.
Shooting space. Yep, that is exactly it. Once that attacker hits that 12, the defendant was definitely in shooting space, more than that, stick length away.
This will be Claren. Couple goals today for Kiera, a senior. Moves over, and that shot was just high. A good look there for Weller.
No, I'd love to see the mindset and the tactic behind it. No Lone Peak girl went behind. I think they were just trying to seal off anything to make sure that they did not. Okay. A crease violation. Oh, okay, a crease violation. Okay. But yeah, just the mindset of how they were going to set up being that man down. There was a crease violation by Lone Peak. So it's just going to be back on the dot.
And Lone Peak no longer a man down. Back to even strength here. They killed it off. No damage done by Mountain Ridge, but they still have it here. Tessa.
So that did happen inside the 8, a major foul, so she's going to get that first inside.
Mortensen handing off, but that pass was a little high for Claren. Couldn't handle it, and Lone Peak has it. Gathered by Lisenby for the Knights. My goodness.
That is a ride on the attacking end. That's why you teach your whole team how to play some defense.
And now Lone Peak trying to take advantage of it. Big run here from Agate. Into the teeth of that Mountain Ridge D. Trying to cut through, had it knocked loose, but in the sphere there, called.
Daggett will get that second inside with 8-meter opportunity. She's a right-handed player, so we'll see how she's able to take this, and she is going to rip it.
Agate, a sophomore. 2 goals today. Make it 3. We're tied at 10.
That was a great goal. I mean, very deceptive. She had her stick high, obviously, as most do. And just whipping it low right off that whistle, soaring it across that ground, just skimming it like a rock and getting it to the back of the net.
How about the day today for the sophomore Eliza Agate? 3 goals and a big one there in a late opportunity.
Yeah, I didn't realize she was a sophomore, but that just shows with the talent we are seeing here, there is so much potential for this young athlete.
Yeah. And on a day where Mountain Ridge has really done a nice job against Potvin. 2 goals for Maddie today, but they really haven't given her a lot of looks. It's been a tough day for Maddie to be able to create offensively. You've needed other players to step up. Cook continues her hot week, although she has not scored in the second half. Agate has been that player as the cover here.
I think it was an empty, but similar to the same. So I always think of it if it's a clap, empty. I don't know. That's my mindset.
The nuance.
Yes.
Three and a half to go here.
I know my heart rate went up with that last goal. We're tied up 3 minutes ago.
Trying to feed it in front, and Fuller with her biggest save of the game had Diamond right in front one-on-one.
That is an amazing goalie out there in that cage. That was a great save. Oh, snaps.
The clear, a little dicey. Mountain Ridge trying to come up with it, and we've got push here.
I did see the potential is what she was trying to do. She's just trying not to get that ball intercepted, so she went down for that side pass. Great idea. I think it just was needing to be just a little more height.
Ewan Schwander playing this ahead with Maddox. Got to watch out from behind. Diamond jarred it loose. Lone Peak able to recover here with Ewan Schwander. Lone Peak fell in the semis last year. Trying to finish off the deal here in 23. They got to go through the defending champs. What a battle it's been. There's Cook. Favor there. Now we'll hand off as we approach 2 to play here.
We are in 2 minutes.
You get a card. Yeah. Wow. So for the remainder, Mountain Ridge going to be a man down.
I'm a sympathy card. She came up crying, and, I feel that as a player.
How could you not? How could you not? State championship, tied up. I'll tell you, there was a 4A semi yesterday on the boys' side where there was a 2-minute non-releasable with about 2:30 left.
Oh, gosh.
And the team rallied
that anxiety.
and did not give up a goal, came back, had a chance to win it. This is where you just have faith in your teammates, right?
Yep.
Now we got a timeout? Yeah. Timeout being taken here by Lone Peak. Understandable. Inside of 2 to go. They've got it in a tie game and an advantage. You're watching the 6A championships on KSLSports.com.
Okay. Okay. Yun ako malawa din su afet sa tukasang seto dala bialawa kumino dala.
Welcome back. 1:58 to go. Kenzie, if you're Lone Peak, how aggressive are you here? Knowing you got the advantage, do you want to strike fast and early? Do you want to maybe take your time and be patient?
I'd take my time. Okay, so this is what my advice is. I tell my girls, keep calm. If you get a turnover, it's not going to be pretty, right?
Yeah.
They've gotten goals before. They'll get them again. But keep calm, keep your composure. If you can get a goal off here, great. If you don't pressure it.
It'll be Katrina Maddox, scored in the first half today. A junior with an opportunity to start it here. Inside of 2 to go. I like
Smart.
it. I like it. There's Agate.
Wait for the opportunity. If you have possession, they do not.
Well, and we've seen Mountain Ridge even man down today create looks. Agate here just taking advantage of space. Clock down to 90 seconds.
I think they're going to shoot up a play.
When do you initiate here? 50 seconds?
I'd say like 15.
That long?
I mean,
You don't want like 2-3 looks potentially?
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Maybe a couple looks, but like I wouldn't wait more than 15 seconds.
Boy, that ball threaded Potvin and lost it. Oh, and a call there.
And I think she's going to get her favorite spot, that center hash. We'll see.
It'll be the leading goal scorer for Lone Peak. A chance to put them ahead. 1:04 to go in the state championship. What dreams are made of for Maddie Potvin. Potvin coming in. And that is saved by Marriott, the other senior, for Mountain Ridge making the save. Lone Peak still on it. Boy, great work there by the senior goalie, Faith Marriott. Cutting through, shot, and shut down. Lone Peak maintaining. Clock down to 40. It's Maddox scoring! The junior who started with 1:58 left finds herself scoring the go-ahead goal.
That was amazing. You know, they waited for their opportunity. They lost the ball a few times, but their fight did never stop. It just never stopped. So having that back behind goal, taking that, that roll dodge in and getting that shot off is just a good old time.
Not the junior.
I'm loving Wes here on the sideline. Lone Peak's head coach. He's like creeping out of the field, all excited. The official's got to tell her, calm down, get off the field. Like that's just the excitement in the game.
Now here's the deal. We head back to a draw. Mountain Ridge, they've had the edge on the draws today. 36 seconds to go.
Lone Peak cannot move on this draw. They have to make it a 50-50. They cannot make it 100% there.
In the air. Oh, heady play to bounce that up, but it's nearly taken away. Lone Peak can't corral it. Mountain Ridge has it. It's Emery Clark coming away with it. 20 seconds to go. Clark jarred loose and a flag held up.
It will take her. It's between the 8 and the 12, so it'll only give her a lane, but maybe that's all she needs. We've seen Emery make amazing goals. So we'll see what's going to happen. We got to cover all of these adjacent players because we got quite a few open players right now, and they need to get covered.
And a Lone Peak penalty. So we're going to be even strength here. A check to the head.
Oh.
Called on Lone Peak. 16 seconds left. It's Emery Clark with it. A chance to start from 12 meters. Mountain Ridge.
They have 3 girls on GLE right now. That's not going to be in everyone's favor.
It all comes down to this for the Sentinels, defending state champs. Trying to defend Lone Peak, trying to close down the fantastic season.
Wow.
And they're stopping it here with 11.
Is it X just to stop it? Or is this a card?
Yeah, I didn't see the indication.
No, I didn't either.
It'll be an 8-meter start here for Emery Clark.
Who's behind? What color? We don't know. That's all right. We don't need to know at the moment. All we need to know is that Emery Clark has an 8-meter opportunity, second inside in.
Emery Clark looking to tie it up. Coming in, shooting, saved away. Fuller, the senior, makes the save for Lone Peak. Final seconds, down to 4. It's a senior moment for the goalie as Ellie Fuller makes a last-minute save on Emery Clark. And the Lone Peak Knights are your 6A state champions.
Wow, I'm speechless. I'm totally shooken up over here. That was amazing. They came in with such, strength throughout this game. I felt like they were always lagging behind. There's nothing better than have a little bit of that underdog stepping up to win the game. Props to Mountain Ridge. They've had so many good moments. Like, it is a 1-point differential. That is a hard loss. But overall, that is a great game where they had amazing, amazing plays. And they got to remember those good parts and not just that last few moments where they lost it by just a goal. Got to emphasize those good goals.
Kenzie, your final thoughts on the selection of a player of the game?
I think it was an amazing game overall. Both teams should be very proud. And, Lone Peak had so many great players, and I really want to put some emphasis on that. But I think nobody would be where they're at right now in the Lone Peak team without their goalie in those last few seconds. She made the best saves I think we've seen all day. So that goalie is
Ellie Fuller.
Ellie Fuller. Yes, Fuller, of course. She had amazing saves, and she is the MVP for this game for me.
You said it. A great year for Mountain Ridge. Boy, all they had to fight through. You talk about injuries and battles and a tough start to the year. And to get back to a state championship game, a heck of a job by Coach Brusha and by the Mountain Ridge group to work through. But, boy, in the end, Lone Peak, you talk about a big goal scored by the junior, Katrina Maddox, to put them ahead, and then the late save on Emery Clark by Ellie Fuller. Fuller, our player of the game. There's going to be Mountain Ridge players hanging their head. There's nothing to hang their head about. Great year. Lone Peak just sneaks it out late. Lone Peak, your 6A state champions. They defeat Mountain Ridge. We got 2 more state championships coming up for you later today. The 4A will be next. It'll start at 5:30. Bear River and Mountain Crest. You can catch it right here on KSLSports.com. Congratulations to both the Sentinels getting to the state championship and on Lone Peak, your 2023 state champs.